That's all already live. You can go Aloha. Hello.
Oh, we're not gonna do the countdown.
Oh, you want to do countdown? Okay.
All right, hi everybody. Welcome back. Today we're gonna. This is our weekly live video that we do every Sunday. I'm Kaili with Ukulele Puapua, and we're in the Sheraton Waikiki in Waikiki, Hawaii. This is where we feature and sample some of our ukulele models for you guys and answer your questions in the live chat. Today we'll be going over and talking about the KTM00. All three of these models we're talking about today are actually from Koaloha. That's another Hawaiian maker. So this one is the KTM00. We're also going over the KTM S00, which is basically the same thing but slimline, about half depth. And then we have the KSM00, which is the Soprano. So like I said, I'll be answering any of your questions for each ukulele and towards the end of the video, so at the end of the live stream. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, and then I'll remind you of that as time goes on. So just go right ahead, and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, all right, let's get started. The first one, as I mentioned earlier, is the KTM00. By the way, we have the links to every single one of these ukuleles on our online store. If you guys go to ukulelepuapua.com, you'll find that there. So, Ken, can you put that in the comments real quick? Just the regular ukulelepuapua.com.
Okay.
Just in case, you guys can click on ukulelepuapua.com and you can look it up just like that, what we have on here. What we're looking at right now is the KTM00. So you can look in the description of this stream, of this video, and you'll have the actual links to every single product that we're talking about. So you can go ahead and click on the link to the KTM00, and I'll pull it up. So if you look at the KTM00, this is the Koaloha Tenor. This is their base model, and this is kind of what everybody really, this is kind of the model you think of, yeah, Ken?
Yeah.
When you think of Koaloha, this is the flagship model. This is the basic. When you think of Koaloha, you think of this. So the thing I like about this one in particular is that we actually have a high G setup. So I know it says low G on there, but this one in particular is high G. So if you hear, it's the traditional re-entry tuning that we use in Hawaii. And so if you look at it, it's Koaloha. The model name is KTM00. The size is tenor. This is a full size tenor. It is not a hybrid or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about different size. The materials we have, if you look at the head plate, it's still the mahogany from the neck, so they don't use a head plate on this one. The tuners are Koaloha's geared tuners. You can see the brand on the back. But if you look at the head plate, you still have, the 5-pointed crown, and you also have the Koaloha logo in abalone shell. So if I move it a little bit, you can see it as it glistens in the light. The next thing is the fretboard. Fretboard is made of ebony. It's really dark black ebony, and it matches the tuners really well. And as well as the bridge. The bridge is also ebony. So it's nice to have good continuity there. The fret markers are also abalone shell. And then the side markers here are just the straight white material. If you look at the neck, as I mentioned earlier, this is standard practice, so don't think you're going to get a koa neck on a newer ukulele. It's standard practice to use mahogany, be it sapele or whatever mahogany they use at each individual shop. But the reason they do that, just so you guys know, is because you have to carve off quite a bit of wood to shape the neck properly. So mahogany is much more abundant than koa. So it's actually environmentally friendly and responsible to use mahogany on your neck. And if you see the body, this is basic. You don't really see too much curls. There's some if you look at it in the light. Hopefully you can see that if I do that. But you can't really see any curls in this wood. They use their most basic looking koa here, but it is still coveted. As you can see, it's still a really beautiful wood. The cool thing about this one I noticed is that when you look sideways, hopefully I'll twist it a little bit so you can see in the light. If you look sideways, the top and bottom are actually a little bit more reddish, and it kind of contrasts with the side. And I really like that. It's pretty cool. Something to behold. You also have the signature musubi hole that the Koaloha became famous for after a while. They used to use a regular shaped hole, but now it's the shape of the Japanese musubi, or onigiri. Is that what it's called? Onigiri? Yeah. Oh, I actually have one from Lawson Station right now. This is a deluxe egg and spam one. But yeah, you see how the triangular shape there? They just kind of took this, went upside down, and that's what you have here. Next thing is the soundboard, or the soundboard and the body sides and back are all koa. There's no binding, purfling, or rosette. It's, like I said, it's the base model. The saddle and the nut are both Tusk, T-U-S-Q. That's the brand of the saddle and the nut. It transfers sound really well, especially for the way Koaloha makes it. You'll see in a second. All right. So if you guys have any questions, something I may not have gone over that you're interested in, feel free, again, to put that in the comments. So now is the nitty-gritty. Here's a play test for you, play sample. So I'm going to strum in 3 different areas like usual. I'm going to strum here over the neck, here over the hole, and here by the bridge. And I'll pick here, here, and here as well. All right? So here's your KTM 00 for sample. Here. And by the bridge. Okay, and then I'll start picking here, here, and here. And over the hole. And by the bridge. Okay. So as you'll notice, Koaloha is very bright. If you actually feel it, it's pretty light compared to some other ones, to the point where like the neck is a little bit heavier than the body. But what this does is it makes the ukulele sound much louder, much more full, and definitely brightens the sound. The sustain is not as long as some other ukuleles, but the volume is incredible. Like you don't really have to play that much in order to get volume out of this thing. You can control the volume and go really light, and you'll still have some pretty decent volume and clarity. So those of you that like to have a really aggressive attack, which is the initial pluck of the string, this is good. This is good for you. Like, and everybody knows you're there. Like when you're in a recording, this will cut right through the mix. So I'll play a little something. Let's see. You can play. I'll show you guys something. This is called. You guys should look up Kapena. Kapena. Kapena is known for kind of the Kelly Boy, the ukulele player, is known for playing right around the saddle, and that's how he gets his unique sound. He can kind of get that sound out of any ukulele. So they're kind of like one of the first Hawaiian reggae bands. They call it Hawaiian. So I'll play a song Crazy. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because he has a really high voice, and I don't. So here we go. That's a little something. So you can see it's really bright. This ukulele would be really good for those kinds of songs where you want to play like reggae songs that are a lot brighter, and you can play by the bridge. You may not even need to even play there. You can play like over the hole or over here. You can still kind of get a really bright sound with that initial strong attack. So like over here. You can also play Hawaiian music. A lot of Hawaiian artists that play ukulele actually play koalohas, especially nowadays. It's getting really more and more popular because of the effortless feel of playing on this ukulele. So you could play something like, let's see, Wahine Ilikea. I'll play the Ka'au Crater Boys version. So I don't know. Ine ilikea ika poli o Molokai no kaheke. Maniwa le mo kawai lele luka Ona ohaha omoloa. All right, so that's just a sample of what you can do with Hawaiian music as well. So really good projection. It's a really good way to get in your solos, and it's just all around really good to get in your rhythm section too. If you're going to be playing rhythm or lead, this is really, really good. Okay, now again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, wherever you are, Facebook or YouTube. Feel free to ask them in the comments. In Japanese, we will have somebody who can translate for me, and hopefully I can answer your questions in Japanese too. Okay? Next. So next we have the KTM-S00, which is basically just like the KTM-00, but as you can see, it's a slimline one. So that's what the S stands for, slim or slimline. All right, so you see that on the screen. I'm going to pull it up on my end so we can go over it. Basically, everything's the same except for the fact that it's thin. So we'll go over it. This is Koaloha again. You can tell by the 5-pointed crown here. You can also tell by the logo up here. The model name again is KTM-S00 if you want to get this one. And we should have a couple in stock too. So if you don't like this one in particular, if you prefer the grain of another one, we have two under a serial number here. If you mouse over one, can you show them that, Ken?
Yeah.
If you mouse over one, as Ken's about to do, it'll kind of pop up with the serial number on it. It says serial number. It's actually just our own personal ID number. Koaloha doesn't have serial numbers, just for information. But yeah, so if you mouse over it, you'll see the number, and you'll see that it pops out a little. And if you click on it, it'll show you that ukulele specifically, just those pictures. And if you go to the next one, then you see that pop, and you can click on it. And then you'll notice it has different grain. This is a different ukulele in the same model that we have in the shop. So feel free to shop around and check it out if you want. Again, any questions you have, I'll be answering them shortly. So write them in the comments, and I'll get to you as quick and as thoroughly as possible. Okay, so getting back to this, we have the size. This is also a tenor, believe it or not. The tenor size is not affected by it being a slimline. So this whole thing here, the length of the body, the width, the length of the scale, which is from saddle to nut, the length of the neck, everything. This is all still to Koaloha specifications for tenor. The materials, exactly the same. If you look at the head plate, there's no head plate. It's still the mahogany that continues from the neck. The nut and saddle are made of tusk, TUSQ. That's the material. That's the brand of the nut and saddle. Then you have your Koaloha geared tuners again. Back here, you can see you have the logo back there. And you have the abalone shell logo under the 5-pointed crown. And you have abalone shell markers on your frets. On the side, you have white side markers. The neck is mahogany all the way up. And solid koa for the soundboard, the sides, and the back. So here's the side. Here's the back. Here's the sides. And here's the soundboard. No binding, purfling, or rosette, just like the other one. Ebony bridge and fretboard. And this is the black ebony. And we have a fluorocarbon set of strings, low G on this one. So if you listen, that low G kind of helps to balance it out because you have a slim ukulele like this. You get depth of sound from depth of the ukulele. So it's really different and it helps to round out the sound with this low G. Okay. So we have our strumming and picking sound sample. So I'll bring my camera back down again, and I'll strum and pick in those 3 spots. All right, so here's the first one. I'll strum over the sound hole. And I'll strum here, the penna style. All right, so that's the strumming. Here's some picking for you. If I strum over the hole here, here's what it sounds like. And then by the bridge. And we'll do this one. And so for low G ukuleles, because is played a low G, is zero kamaka vivo ole. I like to play some is songs on low G when we have them, just to give you an idea, because a lot of people have trouble playing his songs because it was tuned with a low G string instead of a high G string on a Martin, on an old like mahogany Martin. So what I'll do is I'm gonna play White Sandy Beach because there's a lot of low G in there. Okay, just to give you a taste. So even with a slim line, the low G still works really well on this ukulele. So. All right, so that is your slimline tenor, Koaloha KTM-S00. Again, if you guys have any questions about any of these, or even if it's not related to these ukuleles specifically, feel free to ask them in the comments. Type them in as they come up, and we'll get to that as soon as possible. The next one we have is the KSM00, so give me a minute to pick that up. All right, so for those of you who like the soprano size, here's the Koaloha Soprano. Unfortunately, we don't have any concert size ukuleles for Koaloha in stock, but we do have the soprano in stock. Oh, you know what? I didn't go over the prices. So if you look online, the price for the KTM00, the tenor, the first one we went over, it's on sale right now because we had it for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we've had this one for a while, so that one will be on sale for $1,216. The KTM S00, the slimline one I just showed you, is also $1,216. And you can go online and figure out which one you like. They're both the same price. Both of the models that we have both of the ukuleles under the slimline model, both serial numbers, are both for sale, on sale. And then this one's also on sale for $825 online. This is the Koaloha KSM00. Let me give you a good look at it here. Here's the body. And you can see sometimes you'll look out and you get a slight curl in the wood. So there are little curls here and there. If you look at the bottom and the sides, everything is book matched with Koaloha. That's pretty standard practice these days too. Here's the back. In case you didn't know, book matching just means that instead of using one solid piece of wood for the front, which actually wastes wood sometimes, well, instead what they do is they slice a piece of wood in half this way and open it up like a book. So that's why you see it's pretty, what's that called? Symmetrical. It's pretty symmetrical if you look down. Especially here, you can see it's like a mirror image on both sides. That's because it's book matched. All right, so just so you know, that is standard practice now. You don't have to harvest really, really old trees that have wide trunks for those big planks of wood. So again, this is Koaloha. You can always tell that from the 5-pointed crown and their logo here. Just in case you never noticed before, Koaloha's logo is like a K, and then it's mirrored, almost like it's book matched. And hidden inside the K, in the negative space, is the shape of an ukulele. If you look even closer, you can even see they have a crown on top. So that's actually an ukulele hidden within their logo. I don't know who came up with that for them, or if Papa Koaloha came up with it, but it is a really clever logo. If you look at the materials on this, it's actually the same as the tenors that we went over. So it's pretty cool. We have obviously no head plate again. This is still the mahogany that continues up from the neck. This one has Koaloha's branded friction tuners. Now, friction tuners are usually not favorable on an ukulele, but these are actually like improved versions of the old ones. So if you have old ukuleles with friction tuners, these tuners will actually serve you better. So don't worry too much about that. If you want to get these, there are friction tuners. You do still have to make sure that these are tight enough. The screw is tight enough so that it stays in tune. And then try to find the midpoint so that it doesn't slip on you. But these give us much less problems than the old friction tuners. As you can see, there's some stuff going on in here. This part's pretty wide and thick, which the old friction tuners did not have. All right. So I actually like these friction tuners much better than the old ones I had on my old Kamaka from like the early 80s. And those back then were improved as well. So technology is getting better. So if you look down here, this is the nut and saddle, also made of Tusk nut and saddle. That is TUSQ. That's the brand of the nut and saddle. If you look at the fretboard, we also have ebony. And the bridge is ebony as well. And all these markers and the logo are made of abalone shell. And then the sides are white markers here. Solid koa for the soundboard, the sides and the back. No binding, purfling, or rosette. This is the base model. And the strings on these are high G fluorocarbon strings. The low G is more for, it's just for their tenors, right? They do low G.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the tenors will have low G, although I think that, the first KTM00, the first one we went over, has a high G. Okay? Actually, I think this is the first soprano we've ever showed on the live stream so far.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So soprano, like with other sopranos, or most bass model sopranos, you have 12 frets here. Concert and tenor tend to go past that, and they might actually join at the 14th fret. This one joins at the 12th fret. So joining at the 14th fret kind of moves everything so that you have more access to the higher notes. But this one's really good if you just want to strum or play around or just start to learn. This soprano is actually really good, and it's really light, just like all Koalohas, and so it projects really well, even though it's really small. So here's your sample. This is, I'm going to strum same 1, 2, and 3 and pick in those areas. So the first one will be over the neck. Here's your strumming sample. Over the sound hole. And by the bridge. And picking. And over the hole. And by the bridge. Just so you know, you might see me struggling a little bit because sopranos are not really built for my frame. I do tend to prefer concert or especially tenor. So that's neither here nor there. If you like soprano size ukuleles, then go for it. This is actually really, really well priced. Like I said, they're all on sale right now. So this one that's almost $150 off. The other two are over a couple $100 off. So you're getting a really good deal on these. All right, so song on this one. What kind of song should I do? I like to mix it up. I don't want to keep playing the same stuff for you guys. So I can try Bob Marley, Three Little Birds. On the original key of A, I think. Don't worry, I don't think, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing don't worry, rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds reach by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. Singing, oh wow. All right, guys. So that's the end of the ukuleles for today. I don't see any questions in our comments, so hopefully that was enjoyable. Hopefully you guys got some good information on ukuleles. Also, feel free to message us on Facebook or on YouTube if you're interested in any of these ukuleles or anything that you might see behind me. I'll give you a good look at those. We have Kamaka, Koaloha, Kanilea. We have some Martins. We have Ana Ole and Valley Maid as well. We have a few models there. We have Mailele and GCEA, which is probably the cheapest entry level made in Hawaii ukuleles that you'll ever find. So we have laminated ones and stuff. We're actually going to be featuring that next week, Ken?
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, so we're going to be featuring those next week, a few of those models. So if these are a little bit out of your price range or anything we've gone over so far, the Mailele will be much more budget friendly. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I know we had a little mix up. We were going to do that today according to our updates. So we're definitely going to be bringing up the Mailele's next week. We just wanted to make sure we went through all the main Ks that we have. Kamaka, Koaloha, Kanilea. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, again, even especially after this stream, if you can't get into the comments, feel free to message us. You can message us on Facebook, on YouTube, or Ken, you want to type in the phone number?
Okay.
You have the phone?
I can look up.
Yeah, it's a 371 number. So go ahead and call us or text us. We have a company cell phone that we can text you from. And you can email us to info. Yeah. So you can email us at info@puapua.net. And then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you have any recommendations of, suggestions for ukuleles you want us to feature on our next live stream or one of our next live streams, go ahead and type that in the comments or message us about them. All right, guys, we're looking forward to interacting with you on our social media, in person if you ever come down. And yeah, thank you for jumping on with us. And yeah, keep strumming, keep playing.
All right.
Yeah, take care, guys.
All right.